So I wasn't really sure how to film this video, if I'm being honest. There was a part of me that was like, I'll just sit down and do it in like my studio. There was a part of me that was like, just sit down and do it anywhere. And then there was a part of me that was like, if you just don't do it, you're not gonna do it. Like, you're not gonna film it. If you keep kind of tiptoeing around it and trying to find the perfect time to film it and the perfect one, you're not gonna do it. So I decided that I was just gonna do it when the time felt right. And when I was on this drive, it felt right. And I was like, might as well just do it in your car and get it done and over with, because I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys might be asking yourself like, hey, where have you been? I'm not as consistent as I used to be. And this was the year that I was going to be super consistent. This was the year that I was going to hustle the hardest. This was the year that I was going to be like here the most with you guys. But this was also the year that I promised myself and I promised my audience, which is you guys, that I was going to be okay with being more vulnerable and being more open and being less private of a person. And the universe has been throwing me almost everything it has to test me and see if I really am going to go through with it. I am. Like, I'm here and we're going to talk about it. Earlier last month, Autumn was diagnosed with ADHD, which we kind of already knew. She's always been a very forgetful kid, and she's been showing symptoms of it for a while. As a mom, I honestly thought it was something she was going to grow out of. And that kind of was like the first hit of like, all right, like things are going to have to move in the schedule, because we were in and out of appointments for her. And also we signed her up for therapy. So she's going to therapy once a week, which I'm super proud of. Like I'm all for therapy. And then a couple weeks ago, I would say now, a couple weeks ago, we started really noticing. I mean, we've also noticed things with Jameson. I think as a mom, I didn't want to accept them or really see the things as they were. And again, try to be like, no, it's fine. Like, he'll grow out of it. Or he's just a late bloomer, or he's gonna do it at his own pace. I think if it wasn't for Brandon, I would probably still be in that headspace, because it really did take him sitting me down for me to get it and not just want to be a mom that sees her kids as these like perfect little human beings who have no fault in them whatsoever. I mean, I feel like any mom out there can kind of attest to that. And I'm gonna try really hard not to cry. Honestly, like, I don't want to cry because I'm at peace with everything. I am. But anyways, after the conversation that Brandon and I had, once we kind of really sat down and looked at things really objectively and not like emotionally or whatever, we took Jameson to a doctor's appointment and we wanted to get him assessed for autism. And the doctor gave us a questionnaire that we filled out and he scored pretty high on. So things like pointing, he doesn't point, he doesn't respond to his name. He is getting a lot better with eye contact. I never noticed the eye contact thing, if I'm being honest, because I've always felt like I've had pretty good eye contact with Jameson, but the eye contact thing was a concern for Brandon. And a lot of other things just kind of fell into it. Because he scored so high on that, our doctor referred us to a specialist, which when we basically got the chart saying that he's showing symptoms of autism, I wish we could have just gotten like a referral to go see a specialist and then like bada bing bada boom, it'd be that easy. It wasn't, but thank the Lord we actually got in somewhere. Shout out to Bridges of the Mind. Tuesday of this past week, we went to see a specialist and we confirmed our suspicions, and Jameson has autism. I love how I said I'm going to try not to cry. So this is what I was saying. It's funny how the universe was like, but are you going to be honest? But are you going to be vulnerable? So Jameson has autism. I don't really know like where to take the conversation from here. One thing I can say is we are just so grateful and happy at the fact that we got diagnosed so quickly, because when the doctor told us what the wait times were, if we were to not have or be in the situation in our life where we could pay out of pocket to get him assessed, because the wait time to get a child who is at risk of autism or showing signs of being on the spectrum, it's a 6 to 9 month waiting list just to get an appointment. and you can't get like therapies or early intervention of like the professional that you would want until your child gets assessed. And we got assessed. Thank goodness. Again, shout out to Bridges of the Mind. They called us and they were like, hey, we have an opening this date, but you have to make it. And so we dropped everything. Again, thank goodness that we're in a place where we work from home and we have so much help, and we were able to. But Autumn has ADHD. Jameson has autism. I know how hard in the paint I was going before all of this happened. I know that I've slowed down, and I honestly, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I want to let you know that if you haven't seen it, you probably will. There's a reason why my schedule kind of got super crazy with my uploading on YouTube, and I'm not uploading as much content on Instagram. And you guys know, like, I'm so active on Instagram and on TikTok, and I'm so active on stories, I'm so active on YouTube. And I say this to say, if you feel like or noticed that Brandon and I have somewhat taken a step back, it's very much because we feel very much that our kids need us the most right now. So that's where our focus is mainly going. Because we caught it so early, the primary thing and the most important thing is early intervention. And as much as like I love my job and I love being here, I am not making this video to tell you guys that I'm taking a break, because I'm not. You are going to be seeing me. It's just going to be a lot less. And if you guys see and notice that, oh, she hasn't uploaded in a while, that's probably why. I didn't want to keep you guys in the dark about this. Also, another reason why I wanted to communicate with you guys is knowing and being in this community of parents of children who have autism. I realize now, living it, like how tight of a community it is for a reason. It was so scary when we heard that we very possibly couldn't have gotten Jameson assessed for 6 to 9 months. Like, that was terrifying for us. For a parent to be in the dark about their own child, that's not something I wish on anybody. So I want to normalize this conversation of autism. And I want to normalize the conversation of, you know, kids with learning disabilities. And again, I just wanted to better build like our communication, you know, as a community. This isn't a video I honestly thought I would have to film ever, but I'm glad I'm doing it. And I am not hiding this, because this isn't something that Brandon and I are ashamed of. And when we found out about Jameson, yes, we had our tears. Yes, we had our moments, but we already had shed tears before the diagnosis, because we kind of came to terms with it before he got to the specialist. I want to relay the message to you guys that we are okay, and we are still so in love with our boy, and he is still like the most perfect baby and the most perfect blessing. He and his sister, to me, are my absolute world, and I wouldn't change a thing about them. I am somebody who believes that everything happens for a reason, and I am somebody who, as annoying as it may sound and as annoying as it may be to some people, like, I truly believe that there's a gift in everything, whether the gift shows up immediately or years down the road. I know that this happened to us for a reason, and I'm so grateful that this has, while it was dark in the moment, it has shed light on so many other things for us. Like, we are so grateful that Jameson 1 is healthy as can be when it comes to like how strong he is. He moves, he walks, he runs, he climbs. He's so brave, and he's so funny, and he's just the cutest little beacon of light. And Autumn is literally like my teacher. Like, I know that Autumn was sent to me for a reason, and that was so she could teach me so much about life. There is so much wisdom in that little girl, and there's so much love in that little girl, and she has been so cute when it comes to even understanding her brother's diagnosis. Like, she even was like, it's okay, mommy, like, we're just the AA siblings, it's fine. And I don't think she obviously doesn't know what AA kind of stands for, and like, you guys know what I'm saying? I feel like you kind of catch it too. Like, when I heard her say, she was like, we're just the AA siblings. Like, for me, it was kind of like, wait, you don't want to say that. But I didn't really correct her, because, you know, innocence is adorable. And another thing it has shed so much light on is how amazing of a partner I have. Brandon has been so wonderful like so wonderful throughout this whole process. He was the one that actually set up Autumn's therapy. Like, he has been so involved and so like the rock of the family. And my parents, like, the second that we told them about everything that was happening, like, they weren't pointing fingers, they weren't judging, they weren't blaming. Their first response was, what do we do? Like, what do you need help with? And I think that in itself has been such a gift. Like, I'm a pretty grateful person, but boy, have I been really like counting my blessings lately. Brandon's family has been so kind and so supportive. Like, it's just, again, like, there are these dark areas, but when you really want to hone in on the dark, that's all you're going to see. But if you take a step back and you really count your blessings and see everything that is actually good about the situation, it really does flip something in you. And that is why every day, again, as annoying as it may seem, I choose happiness. Like, I choose to see this as a blessing, even though I don't necessarily know why it's a blessing. My children are still blessings. Like, the fact that my children are still here. Like, I get to wake up to my babies and one of them is always in bed with me. Like, that's a blessing. Like, I'm just so grateful that I have a great marriage. I'm so grateful that I do have healthy kids, and that all that is different about them is that they learn and they see the world different. But that's really it. And I'm just so grateful I have them. Like, I'm still so in love with my kids. I just wanted to, one, like, thank you guys so much for being along with me on this journey and for being so understanding and for still clicking on this video, even though I haven't been as around and as active as I usually am. Like, you guys have just been so awesome and so kind. And I can't thank you guys enough for that, for all the love and all the positivity you guys have sent my way. Like, I'm telling you, like, the shift from dropping beauty as much as I did and kind of going into a more lifestyle vloggy world, like, it fed my soul in so many ways that I can't even express. Like, I feel so grateful that I'm in this place in my life where I'm making content I'm actually super proud of and excited for. But that shift came with a lot of loss in a way. Like, my numbers dropped, subscribers dropped, a lot of people fell off, like, people stopped watching me. But you guys who have stayed, I cannot thank you enough for your support and for coming along this journey with me and for believing in me. You know, like, it means so much to me. So again, this is not to say I'm going anywhere, because I'm not. I know that my kids require and need so much of me, and now more than ever. And that's why so much more of my time is going to be dedicated to my family and my kids. But I also know that to be the best version of myself for them, I also have to keep sane. And for me, creating is what keeps my sanity, you guys. And writing, I picked up writing so much more now. Like, I'm just learning to focus on what really needs my attention. I thank God for my editor. You know, she takes so much off of my plate for me. I thank God for my strategist. Like, I'm so grateful for so many things in my life in a moment where you think I wouldn't be, and I would want to be playing the blame game and I would want to play the victim. There's absolutely no need for that, and there's no room for that in my life, because I know how blessed I am. I see how blessed I am every single day. Not to say that, like, everything's gonna be fine, we'll go back to our regular schedule and we go back to normal, because I don't think we're gonna go back to normal, but I do think that we are gonna find a new normal. And I just can't thank you guys enough for sticking around and being a part of this journey with me. And I will see you guys in my next video. But for now, I just want to leave you with, one, it's crazy what you deserve. And two, like, choose happiness. Be grateful and just know, like, we're okay. We're good. I'm not shut down by this in any way. If anything, I feel very motivated. There are days where I get overwhelmed, but that's totally normal. Here's to bigger and better things. And here's to choosing happiness. Mwah. I love you guys.